1. Gateway. Dear Ms. Diane Edwards, I am a teacher working at East End High School. I have read from your notice that the East End Seaport Museum is now offering a special program, the 2017 Bug Lighthouse Experience. The program would be a great opportunity for our students to have fun and experience something new. I estimate that 50 students and teachers from our school would like to participate in it. Would you please let me know if it is possible to make a group reservation for the program for Saturday, November 18th? We don't want to miss this great opportunity. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Best regards, Joseph Loach. Exercises 1. A lot of you are now aware that Mike Cooper has accepted a position in Springfield, Illinois. Mike will be the head animator for Dream Animation Studio. The animation department will not be the same without him. His optimistic outlook and abundance of vigor have helped make our office a pleasant place to work. His positive contributions to the dynamics of this department will be greatly missed. He is definitely worthy of the new position. It will allow him to further his potential as well as take Dream Animation Studio to a higher level. Currently, I have no plans to replace Mike. Susan Pitt will assume full responsibility for his tasks. On behalf of all of us, I wish Mike Cooper every success at Dream Animation Studio. Exercises 2. Dear Mr. Johnson, it has been so many years since we started our school with the goal of providing education to poor children. Today, we have a total of 500 students in our school. We have provided education to about 5,000 students as of today. The number of students at our school continues to increase year by year. As a result, we need to build extra classrooms so that we can easily accommodate the increasing number of students to our school. For this reason, we would like to give you the opportunity to make a donation to this cause. We hope that you will consider this opportunity to help make this work possible. We admire your interest in making essential contributions towards the betterment of society and hope that you are able to contribute to this project as well. Thank you. Yours sincerely, Joseph Walker, Principal, Walker Public School. Exercises 3. Thank you for ordering our new product, the DMG R5000. We are very excited about its development and know you are eager to receive your order. Because we want to make sure that the DMG R5000 is fully tested to assure the highest possible quality, we have delayed the final production date for 3 weeks. Our commitment to quality sometimes demands that we bite the bullet and make tough decisions. In the end, though, we know that it's our reputation for providing our customers with the best in diagnostic technology that keeps them coming back to us year after year. We will inform you immediately of any further changes to this scheduled release date. If you have any questions or concerns, please call me directly at 206-1555-0221, extension 223. Exercises 4. Dear Ms. Griffin, my paycheck for the 2-week period ending October 16 was $75 short. For this period, I should have been paid $875. Instead, my check was for only $800. I believe I know why there may have been a discrepancy. The $75 additional pay for these 2 weeks was the result of my having put in 5 hours of overtime on October 8 and 12, 2.5 hours each day at $15 per hour. This overtime was not reflected on my current pay statement. I have double-checked with my supervisor, Gloria Arello, who assured me that she recorded my overtime on the timesheets she sent to your office on October 17. Thank you in advance for correcting your records and for crediting me with the additional $75 for my overtime. Sincerely, Robbie Burke, Data Entry Clerk. 2. Gateway. The start of the boat tour was far from what I had expected. None of the wildlife I saw was exotic. I could only see dull, gray rocks. It was also so hot and humid that I could not enjoy the tour fully. However, as the boat slid into the Bay Park Canal, all of a sudden my mother shouted, "Look at the mangroves!" A whole new world came into sight. The mangrove forest alongside the canal thrilled me as we entered its cool shade. I was fascinated by the beautiful leaves and flowers of the mangroves. But best of all, I was charmed by the native birds, monkeys, and lizards moving among the branches. "What a wonderful adventure!" I exclaimed. Exercises 1. Just as her brother does, Sarah Sculpin adds to her own grace the sweet memory of the Lady Dorothy. She glides like a sunbeam through that quiet house, and in winter she makes summer with her presence. When she sits at the piano, singing in the twilight, or stands leaning against the Venus in the corner of the room, she presents herself more gracefully. Then, in glancing from her to the portrait of the gentle Dorothy, you feel that the long years between them have been lighted by the same sparkling grace and shadowed by the same pensive smile. For this is but one Sarah and one Dorothy out of all that there are in the world. Exercises 2. It was a brilliant afternoon, warm and sunny, and Susan walked all the way home, thinking about the script to start. But the image of receiving an Academy Award kept coming up over and over, even though she didn't believe it for a minute. Yet Urgel had seemed so sure. Whom should I thank? Do I want to thank Seltzer for his confidence in me and for helping me overcome writing anxiety? Do I want to thank Dana for always being available as my trustful reader? Do I want to thank my Smith Corona electric typewriter and my El Cheapo bargain typing paper for making this script possible? Do I want to thank my good friend and collaborator, Urgel Feather? Let's not get carried away here. Urgel Feather is not my collaborator, he's the producer. He gave me my chance, but I'll be the one to write the script. I owe it to myself and to my career. Exercises 3. Then it came about that Angus McAllister, sitting with his legs bent in his potting shed like some dangerous beast in its den, saw a sight which first froze his blood and then sent it boiling through his veins. Moving here and there through his sacred gardens, picking his sacred flowers, was a small girl in a cotton dress and straw hat. And this made his blood boil more fiercely. It was the same small girl who 2 days before had thrown stones at him and hit him in the shin. The stillness of the summer evening was shattered by a roar that sounded like boilers exploding, and Angus McAllister came out of the potting shed at 45 miles per hour. Exercises 4. The kitchen was packed with wives, all of them laughing and talking loud, none of them being helpful except for Lois from next door, who was pulling bowls out of the refrigerator. Beverly's best friend, Wallace, was using the side of the bright chrome toaster to reapply her lipstick. Beverly's mother was sitting at the breakfast table with the baby in her lap. They had changed her from her silk christening gown into a white dress with yellow flowers embroidered around the neck, as if she were a bride who'd slipped into her going-away dress at the end of the reception. The women in the kitchen took turns making a fuss over the baby, acting like it was their job to keep her entertained. Playful competition followed between them as they warmly argued about who would get to hold the baby next. 3. Gateway. One exercise in teamwork I do at a company retreat is to put the group in a circle. At one particular retreat, there were 8 people in the circle, and I slowly handed tennis balls to one person to start throwing around the circle. If n equals the number of people in the circle, then the maximum number of balls you can have in motion is n minus 1. Why? Because it's almost impossible to throw and catch at the same time. The purpose of the exercise is to demonstrate the importance of an individual's action. People are much more concerned about catching the ball than throwing it. What this demonstrates is that it's equally important to the success of the exercise that the person you're throwing to catches the ball as that you are able to catch the ball. If you're less concerned about how you deliver information than with how you receive it, you'll ultimately fail at delegation. You have to be equally skilled at both. Exercises 1. The ability to learn something new is based on the general state of mind of a human being. It does not depend on special talents, nor does it operate only in special fields such as science, art, music, or architecture. But when it does operate, there is an undivided and total interest in what one is doing. Recall, for example, the kind of interest that a young child shows when he is learning to walk. If you watch him, you will see that he is putting his whole being into it. Only this kind of wholehearted interest will give the mind the energy needed to see what is new and different, especially when the latter seems to threaten what is familiar, precious, secure, or otherwise dear to us. Exercises 2. Endangered pandas, blue whales, rhinos, and chimpanzees generally make the headlines because they are the most appealing or visible victims. Most preservation money is spent on these species. Interest in less appealing species is often difficult to stir, but many less conspicuous species are important components of natural systems, even keystone species. Many inconspicuous species are vital to human welfare. An adult frog, for example, can eat its weight in insects every day. In India, sharp declines in the frog populations may be partly responsible for higher rates of insect damage on crops and for an increase in malaria, a serious and sometimes fatal disease transmitted by mosquitoes, a main component of the frog's diet. Losing species, therefore, is not just an aesthetic tragedy. It can have profound environmental, economic, and health consequences. Protecting species, regardless of how appealing they are, is vital to sustainability. Exercises 3. It is estimated that people age 50 and older spend about 48% of consumer dollars. They buy about 48% of all luxury cars, and they are responsible for about 80% of luxury travel. They even buy about 25% of all toys annually. There are about 55 million grandparents aged 55 years and older in the United States. Nevertheless, marketing and merchandising programs commonly treat these customers as if they are much older. For example, there is the myth that older consumers are fixed on certain products and are unwilling to try new alternative products. Therefore, why should advertising of a new product be directed at older consumers? In fact, a survey of 500 people over age 50 in shopping malls revealed that about 80% of them were quite willing to try new products. Exercises 4. How can we maintain excitement, interest, and aesthetic pleasure for a lifetime? I suspect that part of the answer will come from the study of things that stand the test of time, such as some music, literature, and art. In all these cases, the works are rich and deep, so that there is something different to be perceived in each experience. Consider classical music. For many, it is boring and uninteresting, but for others, it can indeed be listened to with enjoyment over a lifetime. I believe that this lastingness derives from the richness and complexity of its structure. The music interleaves multiple themes and variations, some simultaneous, some sequential. Human conscious attention is limited by what it can attend to at any moment, which means that consciousness is restricted to a limited subset of the musical relationships. As a result, each new listening focuses upon a different aspect of the music. The music is never boring because it is never the same. I believe a similar analysis will reveal similar richness for all experiences that last: classical music, art, and literature. Exercises 5. Most of the animal training practices considered good and normal in our world do not take the animal's viewpoint into account. Animals should have the right to participate and to have a say in their training. The true goal of training should be to get animals to do something because they want and choose to, not because we force them to. Instead, people typically get so involved in doing a program or getting a result, like winning a title in a dog show, or they worry so much about getting hurt that they fail to listen to what their animals have to say. That's when I get calls about the dogs who are refusing to go in the show ring or the horses who are acting crazy. Exercises 6. Many new college students view the college years as a chance to start over, to be who they really are, and to escape the perceptions other students had about them in high school. This is true. However, this thought process leads some students to try changing themselves to impress others. The best piece of advice you have received from family and friends is to be yourself. Your efforts to be someone other than your true self will fail. In the meantime, other students who recognize your dishonesty will be reluctant to befriend you. Soon you will feel out of place and under pressure to maintain the false identity. If you act naturally and allow yourself to make mistakes, you will find genuine friends and a place for yourself within the first month or two of college. Exercises 7. FOMO, or the fear of missing out, isn't unique to the age of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. For generations before, people still invited some people to parties and not others. Only now there's pictorial proof that you weren't there. At its root, the fear of missing out stems from the idea that this party, this concert, this show, this event will be the best thing ever, and that if you don't go, you'll regret it forever. Sure, there are some things you shouldn't miss, but mindfulness is about assessing how you feel in the present moment. If you'd prefer to spend a Friday night in reading a book rather than going to a party, do it. Don't think about what you might miss by not going, but rather what you'll gain by staying. Use FOMO to your advantage by thinking of why exactly you're afraid to miss out on this thing, and consider it an opportunity to grow. Exercises 8. One of the most important things that young adults need to understand is that any time you are trying to live a normal and decent life, you will always find people that will hate you for that. That is how most young people compromise in some situations. They give up on what they believe is right and go with the crowd, and later pay the consequences. What you have to understand is the people who hate you are jealous because of the fact that they cannot have such good behaviors, so they choose to hate you. When you have something good, don't give it up for foolish people who never stand for anything good. It's better for them to call you names for your good behaviors than for you to compromise with them. They can call you old-fashioned, whatever they want, it's their business.